Hello followers, my name is MrMFretwell and welcome back to the Minecraft Weekly Snapshot, and this week is 13 week 19A, and mainly it's just a few small feature additions and tweaks. There's not been too much added at the moment anyway. So, in today's snapshot, obviously today is Friday, it's a day later than it normally would be due to a Swedish holiday yesterday. So, there's some new textures in the game now, and that is for charcoal, coal blocks and Lapis Lazuli blocks. So I've got these set up right here. So we have the new charcoal texture, looks different from the coal texture. Just to show you the coal texture, that's coal, and this is charcoal to compare. You can see that they're different now, and I think the main reason behind doing this is to break the two up for crafting the coal block. So speaking of the coal block, this actually has a new texture itself now. It no longer shares the one with the redstone block, and I quite like this texture. It's a bit different. It's got like the scars through it. It almost looks a bit like a very dark version of the nether quartz. The nether quartz ore that we have. It looks like a dark version of that. Yeah, I think that's what it is. Lapis Lazuli's had a slight retexture as well. It kind of just looks a bit more 3D than it did before. Not too much of a change, but there is a new texture for that as well. So, moving on from that, we have the chests on the donkeys and the mules over here. These actually now work. So, they've been able to be placed on donkeys and on mules since 13 week 16A, but they didn't work. But now they do. So what you can do is you can hold down the shift button on your keyboard and you can right click on the chest and you get this donkey, and you can put stuff in here and then come back later and then once again look in it, and the same chest works for both sides, and if you just right click normally you will actually arrive on the donkey. So this is a kind of a handy thing to move items around easier. But to be honest, I still think the ender chest takes priority over this because it saves a lot more fumbling around with stuff other than these. So I don't know. That's something that I would have to leave up to the player to decide, I guess. Beyond that, there is the main addition this week, and that is the stained hardened clay block for each die. So these are the stained hardened clay. There is one for each type of die, so there are 16 in total. Including the normal hard clay, that will be 17. So as you can see, these are followed in order similar to wool, and they are crafted using 8 hardened clay with your dye of choice in the middle, and you get 8 of that particular dyed block. So in this case, I will just show you on this crafting table right here. If I put that around and then put a dye in the middle, actually that was kind of there we go. You get 8 white stained clay, and you can build with this. I guess some people might like to build some smooth buildings out of it. Honestly, I don't know about this. It's a cool feature, don't get me wrong. I just don't think I will use it a lot personally. I don't know. These kind of remind me of those sweets that you get, particularly this one, the purple. It's like a fudge type sweet, and kind of reminds me of that, and I don't like them very much, but it's still a cool addition. Some of them are pretty nice. I think the brown one could be used in some building projects, but I will leave you guys to come up with uses for that. I still think it's a pretty neat feature. I think this kind of makes up for the stained glass that we don't currently have. Beyond that, there is making mobs spawn in groups again. I wasn't aware that they didn't spawn in groups, to be honest, but apparently there must have been a change somewhere along the line that made mobs spawn on their own. I think that is hostile mobs, not the passive ones, and they do now spawn in groups again. So if you were to go and fight mobs, they will spawn in groups of the same mob, I think is what is being mentioned there. And there's been a bunch of bug fixes, as always with each snapshot. There's been a bunch of bug fixes, which I will link in the description. I think that's everything. The Reddit changelog is not actually ready yet, unfortunately. I don't know whether anybody's been alerted to that changelog particularly, so I'm just running off what Mojang say. If there is anything that I have not covered, I will add it in the description, and no doubt I will cover it when 1.6 officially comes out. But this gives you an overview of what's in this week's snapshot. Very cool to play around with these different blocks that we have now. As I say, not a whole lot of changes. I think the donkey's going to be quite useful now, and I'm pretty happy with these texture changes. They don't really affect me in any way. I know some people have said that they don't like this texture. If you don't like a texture, there is a simple way of fixing it. Now that each texture has its own file, just swap it out for what it used to be, and you'll just get the old texture back. If you decide you want to have that texture, that's perfectly fine. I mean, that's what Mojang don't mind. So if you wanted to swap it out and say you wanted the old coal block texture, then you can do that. That won't be affected in any way whatsoever. So that's pretty much it, guys. There's not a whole lot more to say this week, so I hope that you've enjoyed this overview. I hope you found it useful, and I hope that now you'll have some fun with the different blocks and you like the new textures. So until next week, guys, or indeed if there is a bug fix snapshot at any point, until then, I will see you later and have a good day.